If you guys have any names or questions or anything like that, put them in the chat now. We're gonna go through pretty quick once we get started here. At least I'll be quick. I think we're good to go.
I don't know. I still can't hear anything on X.
It'll be delayed on X.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's get started. We can talk about the overnight action on SPX. Really just consolidated below yesterday's high overnight. So the big trend day up, short covering rally yesterday, and overnight just kind of based out at the high. So, right now the positioning for today, based on the dealer positioning, there's a potential for a chop day between 75.25 and 75.65. And we're trading right in the middle of that range in the pre-market. So trading right around 75.55 right now. Early in the session, you want to see uh, buyers be able to clear 75.55 and then 65 in order to try for the prior day high. And that 75.50 to 55 area basically is a pivot in the middle of the chop range. So if we fail 75.50 early, then we can fade towards the bottom at 75.25. That should offer some support. And then if that were to fail, we could see a larger reversion, kind of retrace some of that rally from yesterday. So definitely potential for chop early in the session, especially if we're opening right at this pivot. And really want to see us clear 75.65 to see a little bit more of a directional move. Otherwise, we could be range bound in between there.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, so yesterday, ES broke above all-time high and made a new all-time high and then closed below. Then the overnight session high is right around that 76.30, I think 3 or so. So we peaked above and failed to push. So um, yeah, it's kind of reacting to that. So for me, I think just like what you said here, just looking for that push above on ES for a push to test yesterday's highs. Mate, you want to say anything regarding SPX, or you want to move into some individual names? Good
Not
call.
necessarily. No, I would call out that we have FOMC tomorrow. So we saw a pretty big move before CPI, which may have been a little bit more important at the time, like the day before. And so just keep in mind that with the landscape, while it is a little bit more of a choppier landscape, we could get some kind of pre-FOMC type of action. I would just let the market set up and go from there. But just being aware of that is good. And then just in general with that, it might maybe not directly S&P, but what's been really hot could run up into FOMC like memory. We're dipping as we called out a little bit ago in the pre-market, but that could be something. So watching that. You want me to go ahead and get right into it?
Yeah,
Focus.
yeah,
All right, so yeah, focus for me is gonna be on SpaceX again. So we've hit a couple really nice trades since the IPO. Some pretty nice textbook trades. What I would call everyone's attention to is Circle IPO. Did something similar where we had decent 2 day move and then a gap up and exhaustion gap. A little bit different nuance here with SpaceX, given that obviously it's a whoops, that's not the right name. SpaceX, given that the move was much larger on day two and a close on the highs. Similar thought pattern though. We could reasonably expect a gap up once we got through that 175. 175 is a key spot. That's that 30% above the IPO price, which once we get closer, earnings will become more important as more shares will be available in the market to sell from IPO holders. Today is significant because the options chains will be open. So there's obviously a lot going on here, which is the reason to focus on it. As far as trading it and ways to get involved, there could be a number of ways. So I'll try to keep it pretty simple here, but the bigger point is focusing on the name until proven otherwise is good selection. But we don't have to rush into anything. It will likely set up much more than just one opportunity, as we've seen the last couple of days. There's been more than one entry that we've called out, so you don't have to, feel the pressure to force a trade here. Initially, what I'm looking at, we're already kind of getting that exhaustion gap type of play. So that's already panning out. So it's, still a thing. We can still look at that back test of the prior day higher on 188, see if there's a trade that could set up there. At this point, though, in the way that this is structured, I'd actually be a little bit more in favor of this 200 sweeping and putting a failed breakdown into the open. So that long is what's interesting me around the open, which is kind of starting to play out here. So look for this 200 as a pivot, and then also up here on 208. So that would be an initial target. If that rejects and then we break 200, then it's a short. So those are the two that I'll be looking at initially. Two ways to get involved with SpaceX. Outside of that, just let it settle intraday. With those options becoming available, it's possible maybe we get a little bit more suppression in the stock and it actually doesn't do as much. So we'll just want to be aware of that, and then pivot to whatever else is moving in the market if this starts to slow down. That's it for me.
What about MU?
Oh yeah, I forgot about ME. Well, memory. So yeah, the memory trade's obviously hot. And like I said before, FOMC, maybe we get a run up. There's closed at the highs, new all-time highs, or made new all-time highs yesterday, and was gapping up much better. The thing that we are seeing here that's really stand out is the RSI. So the RSI has not been on the 30. This oversold for about 15% ago. So meaning the stock, when it was 15% lower, was the same level of oversold. All that means is on this back test of 1100, 1089, there's plenty of energy if buyers step in for a continuation move to the upside. And you still need buyers to actually step in. You need to see price confirm that. It's just to say that it's not extended in any way. It has plenty of upside available if buyers step in on this back test, which you're seeing currently happen in the pre-market. So I don't like the fact that volume's kind of faded off a bit. So what you'd want to see is this hold at the open, buyers step in, get up to those pre-market highs, break and run. That would be ideal for longs right off the open. Otherwise, just let it, tighten up intraday and go from there.
All right, let's get into the watch list. So the other names that we're watching, um, SPX, we do have a long above 75.80 yesterday's highs. You see some sort of continuation. That could be a nice little 7600 magnet. Above 7600, we should be targeting the all-time highs, not too far above that. So the play above yesterday's highs would be that we'd see continuation of the momentum and we could move towards all-time highs. So that's that. Marvel, I like above. Um, well, I like it in two areas. First is 303, 305 more closely. We're trading right below it. We're a little higher earlier. 305, you could see that yesterday's highs, and then I think we could see all-time high, which is not too far off. What I like here on the daily is that we held the gap up on June 2nd. We did test that gap, so that's a bit of a trap. And then now we're seeing this kind of increased momentum and push out of that trend line that we just broke, gapped up and kind of held yesterday. So, it might not be available at the open, but it's something that I want to watch for momentum and set up intraday. So Marvel. Another one is AMD, and some of these have moved since we put together this list, but still valid to watch. Semis have been pretty strong. AMD has been leading, and so I like this one above 546, 547. So we can break above that. If we can get a red to green move, I think this one would see regain momentum to the upside. Another one is QCOM. This one has Investor Day. And so I think it'd be wise to wait for that, maybe to wait and see for if we can get some sort of headline that could help us. But yeah, I do like how this one is trading on the daily in a wider range. So another one, just a good kind of one to keep an eye on. IC. So there's nothing here for me right now, but what I do have alerts for are the breaks of the all-time high around that 133 area, which we tested yesterday. So not a whole lot to say here. Potential double top, or we can see a bigger move to the upside. ARM above 420. ARM yesterday was a close watch for us. It made the move really nicely, closed near highs, although SPX did see a little bit of a liquidation break into the close. I'm watching ARM very, very closely today. If you can see some sort of strength, red to green move, at least a move back above 400. So once again, this one could set up. It's kind of retreated just a bit here in pre-market, so not a whole lot in terms of like the open. Um, SNDK, I'm just gonna kind of run through this. SNDK above 2120, so 2120. PLTR looks very good on the daily here. Take a look at that. So PLTR, what I like about this is holding the range that it's been in for quite a while. And so I think this one longer term might be something to watch. I do like that we broke that range on April 10th and put in a failed breakdown. And we have since not made a new low. And so, I mean, this is just like accumulation pattern, pretty textbook, and a potential turn to the upside could come. What I'm looking for here in terms of today would be a break in continuation above yesterday's highs, which is also the 9-day moving average. And then more kind of big picture, I would like to regain 140, which is above the 50 day. If you could get back above 140, I think this one has a pretty good shot at moving back up to the top of this range at 165. So PLTR, I think, is one worth watching over the next few days or weeks. Hood, just very quickly here, Hood above 100 would be something to watch. This one it has a little bit of a catalyst. They did there's a headline regarding layoffs, efficiencies, so on. And so we are green and we're above that 100. The only thing with Hood is I would watch this for momentum, more of a day trade scalp. The 200-day moving average is at 103. So about 3 points to the upside. If you're lucky, you get some sort of like momentum towards that 105. But keep an eye on that 200-day moving average. This one is starting to act slightly differently, and it's worth keep track of. If you can move back above the 200-day and that 102, 103 area, I think this one could see a bigger move over the next few weeks.
Hey, Spaceman, I just want to
Just
call out. I just got long shares of SpaceX with a stop at 196. A smaller position here pre-market on the 200 sweep. Just want to call it out.
Cool. We have a few other in the list here. AAOI above 200. ALAB, so A Lab above 400. We're just running out of time, so I was running through this list. PANW, I think looks good. Just pausing a moment here. Software, they're starting to act slightly differently. And PNW, Crowd, these kind of I guess I would call them leaders, are starting to show some strength. Really nice day yesterday, PNW. So I think this one, if you could hold here and push through yesterday's highs, I think this one could move towards that 300 level above. SMTC is a more of a stock common play above 178, and then Dell. Lastly, here, um, I really like this one because it's held the gap. It actually started accelerating to the downside after pushing into that gap after that gap up after earnings. So as long as we're holding 402, I'm biased to the upside on this one. So I think this one is another one of those like trap the gap plays on the daily. I would watch for software to see some strength, and this one could see a nice push to the upside. So that's all we got here. Yeah, Sarang, you want to tell us what you're watching, if anything?
Hey, good morning, everybody. To be honest, I don't have any specific name to watch today. So I'll be watching some intraday pattern on some of the stocks where we see momentum kind of stuff. So yesterday we cashed the Marvel. So we'll see today if it is might be a core view or maybe a crowd. Uh, Something those names I'm watching. But only thing I'm seeing is Goldman Sachs. GS is looking really nice on the daily. So what I'm watching is if we reclaim of 1095 or 1096 area, so we'll be watching a trade on the GS. So tomorrow is the rate decision. So banks are showing a relative strength. So let's see how it goes today as well. Yeah. Apart from that, I don't see much to. focus at the open. So we'll watch intraday pattern mostly.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. I like the banks idea going into FMC tomorrow. I think that's all we got. Let's take a look at some of the names that you guys are pointing out in the chat. And then we're almost there. We have less than 4 minutes to go here. WDC is looking good. Really, really good. Trading above 700, believe it or not. This one is a memory play. I believe it has a price target by Morgan Stanley. So this one is, I think, moving on that. But yeah, really nice kind of dip in PM, and this one could be an open drive to watch maybe. So if memory moves, I think WDC can be some. This one is a memory play. B1 to watch. 700 best to hold here. Otherwise, we could revisit the lower parts of the PM range. Moving on that. But yeah, really nice kind of dip in PM, and this one could be an open. Yeah, CVX OXY, so Oxy puts. Yeah, oil I would say is just short every top mode at this point. It's hard to go long oil unless something changes. Yeah, AOI above 200 is exactly what I'll be watching. So just replying to some members here in the chat. Walmart. So I mean, I haven't looked at this one, but I guess this would be more of a rotational play into retail out of tech. For me, right now, tech is what I'm focused on. NOW, this is a Trump stock. As long as it's above 100, I have a hard time seeing downside. I do think that we could test that 100, so you have 3 points to the downside. But if we start seeing strength in software, I think this one could be bid up. Push towards that 110, break above 110. I think is where you get that bigger move to the upside. And lastly here, MRAM, MRAM. So it's I guess it's in the memory stack, right?
What was the ticker?
MRAM.
MRAM. Okay. Nice.
I mean, I like that it's breaking out of this trend line on the daily. Let's see if it can accelerate and put in a candle towards those, 33s, 35s above. MRAM apparently has a space tie-in as well. So, all right, that's all we got, guys. Let's just get ready for the open. I'm trying to get myself sorted here before the open. We have less than 2 minutes to go. Yeah, Tesla, I would watch that 400 again. It's been a harder trade. I've been buying every dip, but it has been harder to trade, I would say. Scalps works, but longer kind of trades, I guess, like buy and hold, even like swing. I think I would wait for 415, 416. Nice to recover here, AMD before the open. Yeah, I like Dell, the G. See if software does something. And QCOM will be something to watch throughout the day. Wow, big pop Dell here. Yep, like it.
30 seconds. Watch SpaceX here.
Yeah,
208
nice turn.
target on the initial trade. I got to get through 205. 205 might be a wall initially here.
ARM pushing yesterday's highs here. Let's see if we can get to 420.
There we go, SpaceX. Getting filled some quarter here. Let's see. 207.
220 calls are getting bought very, very quickly here.
There's a 208 test. It's taking another partial here. Gonna get filled. Got filled at 209.15. Next target's the pre-market highs. Got some resistance from the pre-market here to work through. Stop at break even. Really nice.
Those 220s were getting loaded quickly. Saw them. Yeah.
Wow, those premiums.
Yeah,
Expect nothing
pretty
less,
insane.
but it's just insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use stop just below break even, guys, because it's just above 200, so I'm using like 199.50.
All right, let's see if Marvel can push above this 305 here and go red to green, guys.
MU, watch the 1089 sweep here. ATR 1164 MU.
ES testing PM highs, I believe. Yeah. ARM, big move towards all-time highs. We started looking at that one yesterday. Very nice continuation play.
Watch this dip back to 205 on SpaceX. Watching the 250 calls.
Is that John?
I have no idea. I can hardly hear it.
Is that the how are the spreads on those? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
now I can hear you.
he's
Mike
sound
sounds
off.
fantastic. They're fine. They're not terrible. I mean, they're
they're
definitely
they're
a spread, but they're not terrible. Tradable.
Dude, those 220s volume was about 77 when I looked at it. They're now 2.3K. They ripped them higher off the open, which makes sense. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you don't really see that often.
Yeah.
250s are okay actually. Like the spread is not
Yeah.
terrible at all.
I know. That's what I'm seeing
At all.
right now as well. I'm looking at getting in these here.
I'm liking Marvel, guys. Marvel is looking real good. It looks like it could go red to green here.
Watching this 205, 208 area on SpaceX here.
GS testing all-time highs, guys. GS. Goldman Sachs. $320s on Marvel could be something to watch. They're trading about $8 here.
Guys, I'm getting filled 250s, 620 on SpaceX here. I'll cut these quick if it fails 205, 204 area. This could be a fast one. Basically, I want to see it squeeze up to the pre-market highs or sit and wait for it to set up a little later in the session. So like 203.60 is like a trail area. You want this to be really fast or just wait for later in the session? Okay, we're getting a nice push to get over the highs. Then we see pre-market highs. Those premiums will inflate. If
Marvel here.
if we fail 205, those premiums are going to get destroyed. MU 1089 sweep still holding. That's a pretty nice looking long.
Marvel 320 premiums holding up really nicely, but needs to break red to green here. Marvel premium is ripping. Red to green attempt here. Hope somebody took those 320s, those premiums. We're telling a little bit of a story here on the scalp. Above 310 here. Let's see what happens. Yeah,
Like the
SPX
1000
Very nice.
testing.
1160 calls on MU. I'm just gonna stay focused on SpaceX for right now, but I like that. Sorry, go ahead, Jam.
Okay, the 7565 test early on SPX. So far, a little bit of a dip, but also potential for that positive supportive environment to trend higher. As long as we're above 50, and then again, clear 65 can start to trend higher.
MU, really
But
nice sweep and turn there.
Dell very weak here. Dell needs to hold 402, 400, guys. If it does dip there, could be looked at for a push. Marvel is acting exactly how you want it, but you need it to go not only red to green, but break above yesterday's highs here. I had a really fantastic day yesterday. So all-time high, not too far off on this one. Those 320s were acting really strong. Watching INC here as well. I do need it above all-time high though. I'm not ready to buy the dip on this one, but yeah, let's see if we can go red to green as well. It would be good for semis. SNDK did test PM high, but failed to push above.